Alex, I'm going to roll for perception. I got an 8. Did I do okay?
No.
No? I've looted nothing from this room, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, you know, that's okay, because we have somebody on the show today that's going to help us with that, I'm sure. Everybody, I want to thank the one and only creator of The Wretched and the man behind Loot the Room, Chris Bissette, for being our first guest on the show. Chris. Woo!
Hey!
And the crowd goes wild.
He's used to people screaming way louder than that, I feel, but we're not going to do that and blow it our
That's
mics.
not true.
No.
Not true at all.
Chris, thank you for being the first guest that we've had on the new show.
You're very welcome. It's
Welcome
always
to
a pleasure.
a Total Pebble Knockdown.
Exactly. Woo. Yes. A show that is about things. Still haven't
Excellent.
really figured
My
it out.
favorite topic.
Yeah.
That is exactly the description we need on the show everywhere. Just a show about things.
About yeah. There was a show about nothing. Now there's a show about something. Just kidding.
A show about some things.
Yes, we're like Through a Mirror Darkly of Seinfeld. It's a show about something. But, and so, in that vein, we actually have a few things that we are going to be talking about today, which is our want. We always do that. So the first thing that we are going to be talking about is the Dark Souls tabletop RPG.
Yeah.
Board game. And Chris, you know more about this than anybody here. So,
Oh, God.
I know that allegedly the Dark Souls board game was rather shit.
okay.
Allegedly, depending who you ask. I heard it was not that great. And then I know that the tabletop role-playing game that they're apparently making for Dark Souls is using the 5e rule set.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of. There's they said they were using 5e, and then they announced like the changes they're making to 5e, and it doesn't sound like it's 5e anymore.
So they're using the D20 system without the 5e rule set in the way of it?
Yeah. I think
Oh.
I think they're using 5th edition D&D for marketing.
Oh.
Makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. Steamforged mostly make 5e games, so I guess they're building on the bones of 5th edition. Who knows?
Not us.
Not me.
If you came here for a well-informed podcast episode, sorry.
Why did you do that?
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why do you think they wanted to create a dark... Well, I mean, I guess I kind of answered my own questions. It's a known brand. Of course you want to create it. Anything that you can do to squeeze the Dark Souls out of it.
Yeah. Why did they want to make a Dark Souls RPG? Probably money.
Probably
I think the
money.
answer is probably money. That's why anybody makes any
Steamforged
RPGs.
has made several other games based on video game IP as
Yeah.
well, I
Oh.
believe.
Yes. In fact, they made the Dark Souls board game, I think.
Yeah,
and they
same
made like
company.
the Devil May Cry game. And
Oh.
did
They
the
make a
Horizon
Devil
Zero
May-
Dawn.
Cry
Yeah.
board game? What?
Devil May Cry: The Bloody Palace. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a fan of Devil May Cry. And the
Same.
Bloody Palace was in the video games,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
a Devil May Cry board game sounds awful.
I haven't played it, but it's based on Bloody Palace game mode from Devil May Cry 5, and like you play. Which characters are in it? I think obviously Dante's in it.
Dante.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's like Nero, Trish, and V are in it, and you just build. It's just a waves of monsters, do combos, kill the monsters game.
Doesn't
Oh.
sound fun on a board game though. Like
No.
I want to see the visceral combat and style of Devil
Yeah.
May Cry.
I have literally never spoken to anybody who played it ever.
Probably for good reason.
Possibly, yeah. So I couldn't tell you if it's good or not.
Yeah. I
I
could see,
assume it's not.
I could see
See,
a possibility of like doing like a card game where you have to like make combos with your cards, maybe, and then you like throw them out
Yeah,
there
I
and
think
monsters.
that's kind of what it is.
I can
Oh,
see
yeah?
it
I don't
as a game people put on their shelf and never play.
It would look
Which-
good in the background.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks good in the background here, see, but
I mean, I think that's most licensed games, right?
yeah, I
Like-
remember there's a Star Trek game that
Mhm.
was
I've
hundreds
got-
of dollars.
I've got Star Trek Catan.
Oh, that's a little
Okay.
different. That's
Yeah.
more accessible.
Yeah. But like, I've got the Bioshock Infinite board game that I've literally never played ever in my
Mhm.
life. And I backed the Darkest Dungeon board game on Kickstarter. I don't know why. I'll never play it.
You'll never play it.
I might use the minis for D&D or something. I don't know.
There's something. At least you could use the minis for,
Yeah,
for anything.
like, they're going to be cool minis.
They're gonna be cool minis, yeah. Whatever you could get out of it.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about that too, Alex. Remember when we were discussing the Avatar RPG when it was coming
Yeah.
out? That there's a possibility that like you'll have people that will play it, but a lot of them probably will have it on their shelves because they're fans of Avatar, so they want to have the merchandise around.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Licensed games have more in common with merch than anything else, I think. I think that's what Nathan said. He just went robot.
Yeah, he's gonna do that. It's fine. Good thing
Fine.
you're the one talking, not him.
There.
Oh god, what have I done? I'm the host now.
You're the host now. Welcome to Bissette Pebble Knockdown.
Total Bissette Knockdown.
Total Bissette Knockdown.
Yeah, there you go.
TPK.
But TBK, oh my god. Tomato, bacon, and kale. Tomato,
don't
bacon,
say.
and kale. That's what I said.
Tomato, bacon, and kale. That sounds
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, it's good times.
No. Anyways, but Dark Souls as a
Yeah.
tabletop RPG, interesting in concept, maybe not with the 5e rule set, unless it's heavily modified.
Yeah, and it does look like they're modifying it quite a lot. Like, they've put a thing in, because obviously, like, the fun of Dark Souls is, like, huge bosses. And they're putting a thing in it. I mean, they're putting Bloodied in it. Did you guys play 4th edition?
No, but
No.
I'm familiar with Bloodied, maybe?
Yeah, Bloodied was that thing where, like, when enemies hit half hit points, they do cool shit.
Oh, yeah.
And so they've put that in it for bosses. But they've got rid of hit points and replaced them with like health and stamina.
So 2 other hit point things.
Yeah. But it's like a resource that you can spend to change dice rolls as well. Which is cool.
Oh,
Like, I think that's a
yeah.
cool mechanic. It's not 5e.
No.
And they've stripped out the 5th edition magic system and put a different magic system in, which fair enough, because Dark Souls magic is nothing like D&D magic. But I don't know how it's going to work. And I assume they're doing like, when you die, you don't actually die, you come back to life at a bonfire, because otherwise it's not a Dark Souls game.
Yes.
Raises an interesting question about roleplay.
Mhm.
Because at that point, then you have to have an established like map, I assume, that you're playing on.
Presumably, yeah.
Because if you have to respawn at a bonfire, if that's what happens,
Yeah.
then you're somewhere else. That
Yeah.
you have to be somewhere else you've been, not
Yeah, it
somewhere
needs
you've
to
never
exist
been.
in like physical space.
Right. So
Yeah.
you will actually need. I think it'll be a lot harder then for people to maybe make their own worlds on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, if you're playing a branded Dark Souls game,
Probably
do
not
you
making your own
want
world.
to make your own. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know if you want to make your own world or if you want to just play in whatever the Dark Souls world is
That's fair.
called.
I mean,
I don't know.
but you know, people are going to take the rule set and make their
Oh,
own
yeah.
stuff with it. 100%.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me.
No,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, good. That's fine. Finally. Finally fast.com. Yeah, I think that the odd thing about a bonfire system is just that, like, when you're doing an RPG campaign, you're going along a path, and if I have to go back to a certain point, that's got to be hard for the GM to like kind of to work out, like, how exactly do I. Okay, so we were in the middle of a dungeon. You just went back to the bonfire that was before the dungeon came out. Damn. What happened? How do we get back to the point? Do I respawn all the monsters?
I hope if you do that, it respawns all the monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has to, right?
I would hope so. Didn't we just fight that boss? Yeah, but he's back now.
Well, with Dark Souls rules, actually, you wouldn't have to refight the bosses.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I haven't played enough Dark Souls.
Refight everything else, but not the bosses.
Not the bosses, and sometimes, like, the... I remember I was trying to play the first, like, Dark Souls when it did the remastered, and there's, like, the big boar, the armored boar that comes at you, not really a boss.
One of my favorite bits of the first Dark Souls.
Yeah, because you get the helmet. And then
I played the rest of the game with the fucking boar helmet.
Oh yeah, it's great. But I can't remember, but I don't think it came back. I think after I fought it the once, and killed it, it didn't come back. So certain things don't return. Maybe because they were like, yeah, this is just gonna hold up the whole process.
Yeah, like the Dark Knights don't come back either, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's a minute since I played it.
Yeah. If I ever got back to try, I think I just didn't bother with the Dark Knights because they kept killing me, and I had the one problem. I think it was right around the time I was realizing this is not for me. Is I get onto some, like, the parapets, like go around the corners, like, okay, I've cleared out this courtyard and the archers are gone and nothing's here, right? Okay, great. And I get down one of these little corridors and there's this knight. And it has the sword, and it's coming at me, and I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And I'm, like, parrying, and I'm dodging and stuff. And for some reason, another knight just like him comes from behind me. And I'm like, where did you come from? I cleared everything.
My favorite moment with the knights was with the boar as well, because, you've got, like... I came across the bridge and got the tail off the dragon and made the dragon tail sword thing. And then through, like, the sewers with all the rats.
Ooh.
And you come up at the base of the tower that's got a knight on the top of it. And if you come out the bottom of the tower, you've got the big gate and then the boar and all the skeleton dudes with the fire and shit.
Yeah.
And I'd gone upstairs to fight the knight, realised he was going to kick the shit out of me, came back downstairs, ran over to the boar, and then I got pinned between the boar and the knight who jumped off the roof of the tower to chase me.
Great.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
It was hell on earth.
See, Alex, whenever I tell you that I don't like Dark Souls, this is kind of this is the kind... I mean, we've had that conversation. Chris didn't hear it on the show, but when you go back and re-listen to everything, there was a whole thing that I talked about where it was like, I think I like Souls-likes, just not Dark Souls. I got used to a lot of the likes, yeah.
Like, it took me years to get into Dark Souls, because it's exactly the kind of game, like, tonally, that I love, and I really love Souls-likes and roguelikes. I just fucking hate the controls of Dark Souls. I hate having to fight the controls constantly. And then I realised that, and I keep saying this to my friend who loves Dark Souls and he hates me every time I say it, so now I'm going to say it on your podcast.
Great.
I realised that it's a rhythm game.
It is a rhythm game.
It is a rhythm game, and I'm really good at rhythm games. And once I figured out it was a rhythm game, I was like, oh, this isn't hard anymore.
Yeah.
And I beat it in the course of, like, I spent a week at the beginning of 2020 deciding I was going to get good at Dark Souls. And then I got good at Dark Souls and I finished it in, like, a day and a half.
There you go.
I've never played it since.
Yeah, I know it's a rhythm game. I just still don't prefer that style of tanky controls.
No, I
Oh.
would much rather play like something good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to play something good too.
Yeah, like I would rather play Dead Cells than Dark Souls
Sure.
any day
Yeah.
of the week.
I've played my fair share, and I think that this happens. Maybe this is the reason why I like some Souls likes and not others, where they don't have the tanky controls, and it actually feels like your character is much more mobile than that. Like they actually have some. They have
People
some.
keep telling me that I would like Bloodborne and Sekiro because they're a bit more mobile, but I haven't
Yeah.
tried them.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
in Bloodborne, they took away like the shield, so they encourage you to actually attack more than try to doing the defend part.
Yeah, because
Um,
like you literally just defend and jump out of the way of attacks and then roll and hit, and that's how you beat Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
So
Be a very boring player. Somebody who plays it really aggressively is listening to this being like, "You're wrong."
Probably.
Yeah,
Get at
no.
us in the Discord about it. It's fine.
Sure. I'm probably wrong. But then I started playing some other ones that were like, oh yeah, I guess when you change it up a little bit, I'm okay. I like Alex played a little bit of the Surge 2 like I did, and I was like, I kind of like the changes that they made with that, and being able to target certain parts and feeling like I actually I can change how my character build is from a heavy or a light tank. And one that I talked about more recently was like Remnant, which has some roguelike elements to it, but it has the guns, so it's a little bit more of a shooter, so I can kind of get my head around that too. Yeah, so don't really hate the Souls-likes part as much as the whole thing that spawned the genre that I can't get behind.
I think that's always the way, isn't it? Like the thing that does it first is rarely the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't all be Metroidvanias.
No,
Where
Dark Souls is just a Metroidvania rhythm game, and I'll die on that hill.
not a bad
Love it.
statement, not an inaccurate statement. That's fine.
It's the kind of statement I make on Twitter when I need engagement.
There you go. That'll be We're just gonna leave the thumbnail as Chris saying that.
Yeah, that's gonna be the just see the ratio. Let's see
We're just
the
gonna
ratio.
watch the dislikes come in.
Yes, please do.
Perfect dislike video.
It's opposite day to day though. The dislikes get you engagement.
Any engagement is good engagement unless it's a
It's
report and
true.
ban.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
The algorithm doesn't care.
No, it doesn't. But you are also yourself working on a Dark Souls themed or Dark Souls based or
Dark
maybe
Souls.
inspired.
It's Dark Souls with the serial numbers filed off so that I don't get sued.
Oh, it's a legally distinct disambiguation of Dark Souls.
Yes, similar to but legally distinct from Dark Souls, called Dice Souls.
Oh,
Oh.
that's even better.
I started playing it. I started writing it beginning of last year when I played Dark Souls in a week. I was like, this is my new obsession. I'm going to write a game based on it. And then I had to go back to work.
Yeah.
And in the day job that we all know how much I loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm a year late releasing it. I still haven't finished it. But it's coming. I'm working on it.
We'll get there.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's a quick start that you can download for free. It's fine. People are playing it.
And they're loving it.
exists. The people who have told me they've played it have said they really like it and have been really like. There's a handful of people who really love it, which is great. Like, how often does that happen? That's really cool.
Mm. How does the what are the mechanics like? Like, do I find that I roll ones and like, oh no, I've died, I have to re-roll them?
Sort of. You have
Sorta?
sort of, yeah. You start with a little dice pool, and anytime you try to do something, fight something because it's a combat game.
Sure.
Yes.
You roll your dice pool, and if you roll ones, it's a failure, and if you roll sixes, it's a success. And
Okay.
you want to roll successes to deal damage. And then when you kill enemies, they give you extra dice.
Okay.
So your dice pool gets bigger, which actually, in terms of probability, means your chance of then rolling ones and failing increases. You don't actually get better for having more dice, but it's kind of like a push your luck thing. Like you can go back to a campsite, not bonfire. And you can like bank your dice there so that you can come back and get them later. And they are also a currency that you level up with. So you can like buy additional successes on your dice. So you can say like, all right, I have however many dice this costs now. I'm going to say that a 3 is a success as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you slowly spend them to get better and better and better, basically, is the central theme of it.
Sure.
Sounds interesting
mechanic.
and fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Are there also different like weapons, armor, and spells and things too, or
No,
have you not gotten quite that far? Or
I'm trying to keep it light. I might do that as like an expansion for it. There's a couple of classes that do different things. Like I can't remember exactly what they do now, but like I've got 4 base classes in it that interact with the mechanics slightly differently, but only slightly differently. And like you get to choose your weapon, but it has no mechanical effect. So you just describe what it looks like. So if you want to be like a pyromancer throwing fire at people, you just narratively describe your attacks as you throwing fireballs at people rather than hitting them with a sword 4 times bigger than you are.
Oh, gotcha.
I throw horseshoes at people.
Yeah, throw horses at people.
Throw horses at people. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is only a 1-horse town and it's mine.
Yeah, it's my horse.
Talk about horsepower.
Yeah.
You just swing a horse at them.
Yeah, this is my horsepower. That's kind of like in Nobody Saves the World, where you suddenly just unlock the horse and you can just go and horse kick people with the horse. Perfect. Great character. Also, the only way to fall in love with another horse is when you have the horse. So you got to do it for the side quest. But it's not a game. Don't worry about it. Definitely not like Dark Souls. But when did you get the idea for Dice Souls? Was it shortly after the whole Dark Souls?
Well, he said it was when he was playing.
Yeah, it was
Dark Souls
during it. You know, it's that ADHD thing, isn't it? You know, this is my current obsession. Everything I do is going to be geared towards this, and I write games for a living, so I'm going to write a game based on this. And the reason it's so hard to finish it now is because it's no longer my current obsession, and it's been a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just oh god, is this not done?
I have that same issue, but I never actually start the project. I just have lots of ideas for it in my head, and then I'm like, yes, I'm going to think about this for a month, and then I'm going to go, new idea.
Yep.
You know what you do is you have to load up Dark Souls 2 and 3, and that will re-inspire you.
I actually have been thinking about doing that.
Yeah. They are a little different from what I hear, too. They're a little bit...
Okay.
They're a little bit saucy.
I might actually have to spend like the next week playing Dark Souls 2 and get it finished.
You can live tweet your experience with Dark Souls. Actually, you have a Twitch. You can just stream your Dark Souls.
Stream it. I was live tweeting my experience with Dark Souls, and then people kept coming along and trying to give me advice. So I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Specifically, when I had done streaming, it was like no backseat gaming as a tag.
Yeah, I put at the beginning, it was all in one thread, and I'd put at the beginning of it, and I kept reiterating, like, do not give me advice, do not tell me what to do. And I just blocked people. Just blocked people who gave me advice.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
The other thing I didn't like is when I'd play a multiplayer game by myself, and I'd have people jumping in and be like, can I join you? It's like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No, if I wanted to play with you, I would be playing with people.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what? I hate the multiplayer on Dark Souls. I hate, what are they called? Invasions?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I turned those
really piss me off. I didn't know how to turn them off.
Oh.
But I got good. So, like, people would invade me, and I'm running around in the boar helmet with the dragon sword looking like a noob, and then I'd beat them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I never got the multiplayer aspect of Dark Souls. I hear that it does make things a lot easier if you're working cooperatively with other people, but that also seems true of a lot of other games.
Makes sense to me from like a diegetic, like in-world thing, because the whole point of it is that like you are, what do you call it, the reborn or something? What do you call?
Kindled.
You are the one person who's like you
boy.
in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are Dead Boy. You are like
Dead.
Super King Dead Boy.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't make any sense for it to be like, you are the only person like this in the world, but you can invite friends who are also like you.
Yeah, yeah. No, from a narrative standpoint, it doesn't make any sense, but
No. None whatsoever.
They didn't think that through. I think that's the thing, is that I always feel like Dark Souls, or Souls-likes in general, are really supposed to be a single-player experience by their very nature, the way that they're constructed.
Yeah.
So I think the multiplayer kind of takes away from that in some regard.
Yeah, and like, let's be honest, capital G gamers don't have friends. Don't put multiplayer in your games.
Yeah, exactly. You can find Chris at...
I've just come on your podcast to upset as many people as possible, apparently.
Great,
We
perfect. We don't do that
have to
enough
be
ourselves.
Yeah, we don't have to be the ones doing it now. You can do it.
So, I hate to ask this though, Chris, but in current state, when does Dice Souls come out?
Fuck knows. So, there's a quick start available, which is playable, and that's free.
Oh, good.
And I have released like the core rules in a zero layout, like Ashcan edition, which you can buy right now.
Oh.
And basically, all I'm doing now is trying to write content for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way it works, we were talking about like how exploring in Dark Souls, and the way it works is that like it's a game for 2 players, you and 1 GM, and you like procedurally generate the world as you go. And I've split the world into regions that you explore. You know how in Dark Souls you have like Anor Londo and you have like Undeadburg and etc., and they all sort of link together. And so I'm just writing the content for it now. So I've released 1 region. I have 2 half finished, so they'll be coming out in the next month, probably. And then I think I've promised 5 or 6 regions total.
Okay.
For the full game. And then once they're all written and text complete, I'll do the layout and I'll release it properly. And it's going to be released in like... Have I got one here that I can show you? No. I'm releasing it in a DVD case to look like a video game with a CD with a soundtrack on it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Is it a soundtrack you made yourself then?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Getting
I
it
was
just
just like
for the
two-
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it for the soundtrack. The physical edition is going to be like limited edition of 200 copies because that's all I can store in my house.
Right.
And I don't want to put more copies than that in the post. Yeah.
Sure. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's
I was hoping it would be out already, but it's not, and that's just how life works.
yeah.
Actually, tangentially to that, I had an idea at some point, as we were talking about the obsession, an idea where it was a role-playing game that took place almost in the real world, like in the modern day, but you could have different, like, splat books essentially for different regions of the world, would have different like monsters and lore and stuff going on in there, and I thought that would be neat.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. You just have like the walled off like doors that are in your base game, where it's like, well, that sort of like some of the old games were like the Banjo-Kazooies or something, where it's like, I wonder what that thing is. It's like, oh, well, don't worry, there's a splat book that will unlock that door.
And just need to find.
You got to get the life
all
orb.
the jiggies.
Yeah, you get all the jiggies, the jiggy door. The jiggy
In
door.
my mind, it was more you'd have the core rule book, and then you'd have the books based on the locations. So if you're like, all right, well, the core rule book is just all the rules to play the game, and then everything else is like depending where you want to base it. So maybe Chris over in Europe and whatnot would be like, I want this book because it takes place where I'm familiar with, or maybe we want New England as a region because we're familiar with that, and people could play in their own regions or try out regions they weren't familiar with.
And people could play their like hometown region and then get mad about how it's wrong.
Yes,
perfect.
Yep.
Like some of my favorite video games are the Forza Horizon games.
Oh yeah,
I really love them.
Love them.
And then Forza Horizon 4 was set in the UK, and I was like, I'm really excited to play this in the UK. I love Forza Horizon 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And then I played it and I was like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
What do you mean you haven't mapped the entire UK?
Yeah. I liked 4 too, but I kept thinking to myself, at some point I got to talk to somebody from England and ask them, how accurate is this?
It was weird because, like, I was annoyed that it didn't have any, like, big cities in it, because I feel like street racing in Forza Horizon is really fun, and I wanted to race around London or Birmingham or somewhere. But, like, 2 of the areas that are in it, one's Edinburgh and one's the Lake District. And I used to live in Edinburgh, and my mum lives in the area of the Lake District that's in the game.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because they're very, very accurate representations, but, like, really condensed.
Oh, sure.
So I'd be driving around Edinburgh and be like, oh, that's this place, that's this place, that's the National Portrait Gallery. And then I'm in the Lake District and I'm like, wait, this is like a 5-hour drive in real life. Maybe not in a Bugatti Veyron, but you know.
Yeah. Maybe not if I'm
We just
if I'm
do
going...
that when we're playing Fallout 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed walking around ruined Boston trying to find the Cheers bar in Fallout 4. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Nathan has been to Boston. We've both been to Boston multiple times because it's only a couple hours away.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I've been here in real life. Like, you know, Diamond City. Obviously, I've been to a game at Fenway.
I would love to go to a game at Fenway. I don't even really like baseball, but that's something I would love to do.
Oh,
It's an experience.
Yeah, I bet
Especially if they're playing against the Yankees.
Oh, always great. Yeah.
And then
Sox
it's a
and the
lot
Yankees,
of everyone hating each other.
Oh, yeah. Everyone likes each other then. But you know what I kept finding, though, in 4 is I don't
Fallout
think I
4
ever...
or Forza Horizon 4?
Fallout 4.
Thank you. Just
Fallout
checking.
4. Yeah, sure.
We're talking about both.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Confusing.
Oh, man, if I could have the cars in Forza in Fallout 4, that would have been amazing.
Someone's got to have modded that. I want the Hot Wheels cars in Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Just give
great.
me Thomas that I can drive around.
Yeah. We can have you can have like a Mario Kart thing and just have the ghouls drive around in the little cars. That'd be great. But the thing is, I kept thinking to myself, I'd love to go to the Boston Aquarium when I get into Fallout 4, and I don't think I ever found it. I couldn't find where the location would have been. Then I was thinking to myself, oh, I could probably find Ironsides. That would be cool. And I kept going around to the ports thinking to myself, oh, maybe they'll be the boat. And just as soon as I was like, I don't think it's in the game, I come across a whole that whole quest line where there are the pirate robots that have taken the ship that have like just docked in the middle and like, oh, that's the USS Constitution. Okay, they did think this through. Thank you for that. I needed this to be in the game for realism's sake.
I really like the Jaws boat in Fallout 4.
Oh.
Which I found like completely organically, and I was like, is this Jaws?
Yeah.
Why is Jaws happening in Boston?
Alternate universe, who knows?
Reasons?
Yeah. Reasons.
But anyway, so Dark Souls was something.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
tie it back in.
Tie it back in. I was gonna say we could definitely, if you want, Chris, we can leave a link down in the description of both the podcast episode itself on the page, and then on the YouTube video that links to your both your free rule set for it, and then the one that they can buy.
Yeah, they're all on the same page. So yeah,
perfect.
So beautiful.
I've actually, while we've been talking, I was like, maybe I should buy the Dark Souls game, and I went on Steamforged's website to pre-order it. And bearing in mind that Steamforged are a UK company, you cannot order it in the UK.
What?
Price is in dollars, and you go through to checkout, and it will only let you order it in like the US and Canada.
Oh, perfect.
It's got US, Canada, and Mexico, and that's it.
Oh, okay. So we're doing North America.
The board game or the role-playing game?
The role-playing game. Can't buy it in the UK.
Okay.
So it is region locked, Alex. We may have to unlock the other region.
Not quite what I meant, but that works. Talk to us after the show if you want it. Maybe we could work something out.
It. Yeah.
We're gonna bootleg the Dark Souls.
We're gonna order it and ship it to you.
You'll be the only person in all of Great Britain.
I should just go down to their head office and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, can I have a copy?
Yeah.
Can I have a review copy, please?"
Yeah, there you go.
I would like a
That's how
review
you do it. You're like, I'm a host on this podcast.
Yeah.
You're like,
I
I'm a
am
host on
not.
2 podcasts.
I am not 3 children in an overcoat. I am an actual
Definitely not.
person. No.
I am a real person with real legs.
That sounds so surprising.
Real legs. Oh, that's
Real
even better.
legs.
Yes. See,
What's,
do a dance.
Like, you never doubted that I had legs until I said that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm curious. You're sitting
Exactly.
down. I don't know.
I am sitting down.
Well, a lot of people don't know that most YouTubers actually have chicken legs, and that's the reason why they sit down the entire
That's
time.
how I know
just a
Simon
fact.
Whistler doesn't have chicken legs, because he's just wandering around on his Brindlewood all
Yeah,
the time.
and he doesn't do like the pecking action when he walks. Yeah. Sorry.
All right then.
Well, that was a good segment. Up next on the show, we are going to be talking about the Unquiet Dark, a subject I know literally nothing about.
One could
Luckily-
say you're in the dark about it.
And I am going to be very unquiet about it on this show. And so-
Really, it's the perfect topic for you.
It really is. It summarizes how I interact with RPGs in a general fashion every day. I am not quiet, but I am always in the dark. So this is perfect. But Chris, can you tell me a little bit about the Unquiet Dark, which is on Kickstarter right now?
Yeah. The Unquiet Dark is a prequel campaign for a game called Brindlewood Bay. That is a powered by the apocalypse game where you play groups of little old ladies who by day run a book club and by night solve crimes. It's like Murder, She Wrote meets
Golden Girls?
Call of Cthulhu. Murder, She Wrote and Golden Girls meets the Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, wow.
So
we
you
are
had
right
me
in
at little old ladies
Right?
who solve
It's such a
crimes
fun
by
game.
night.
It's so fun. It's one of my favourite games. I didn't write Brindlewood Bay, alas, but I've written for it, and Alicia, who I'm writing Unquiet Dark with, has, I think, written more Brindlewood Bay than the people who made Brindlewood Bay.
Oh, wow.
And Alicia and I both wrote a hack of it last year, which was about an elderly gay couple running a B&B that's haunted.
Oh,
And now we're writing this prequel campaign set in the 1920s.
Hope the name
Oh,
of that
wow.
B&B is called Breakfast and Booze.
So,
Yeah.
the original working title for it was Brindlewood Gay,
Okay.
because we made it super gay.
Okay.
But our final title,
Yeah.
the actual published title, was Bed, Breakfast and Beyond.
Oh.
Bed, breakfast,
Excellent.
and beyond.
I was
love
very
it.
proud of that one.
Yeah,
That is
that's good.
great.
That's terrific. That's terrific.
I hope the cover of that has just the sign out front that says that in like old like.
It
breakfast
hasn't been published as
signs.
like a standalone book yet. I think they're going to publish it when they do the Brindlewood Bay Kickstarter, but I might suggest that.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I think that'd be great with just the old cottage style sign that just says bed, breakfast, and beyond.
Yeah.
And it has like whatever flowers you would put on a gravestone around the sign. Something
Yeah,
like that would be
lilies
really
or
cool.
something.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't visit
certainly.
gravestones nearly often enough. They're spooky.
No, I try not to, as a general rule.
You get great names off of it, though. Some
Do
of the
get great
old
names off them.
yeah, some of the old names. It's like, oh, I just found character names for my entire campaign. Yeah, so some of them are terrific. But okay, so I have not heard anything about Brindlewood Bay before today. And I have certainly not thought that I wanted the Golden Girls to solve mysteries, but now
Until
I definitely
now.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely do. And it does make me start thinking that if I ever play Call of Cthulhu, I hope my party is just the Golden Girls. Yeah.
Are
mean-
always golden if you want them to be golden, Nathan. Stay golden, pony boy.
Anyway,
Little outsiders for you. throwing it back.
I'm playing
1950s.
Rose. Anyway, so how long ago did you actually start working on Unquiet Dark?
We started working on it. That's a very good question. Maybe August or September last year.
Okay.
We were planning it for Zine Quest, which is a thing that Kickstarter used to do every February.
Yeah.
Kickstarter are not doing Zine Quest anymore.
Okay.
Or they're not doing it in February, they're doing it in August. But we were like, fuck it, let's just try and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Slight regret, because we haven't funded yet. We still have we have exactly £600 to go with 6 days to go. So I think we'll fund on the last day, but we might not hit the stretch goals, which is a shame, but it's, it is what it is. You can't win them all, and it's a very niche product. It's Brindlewood Bay itself is a very niche product, and then we're writing a very niche prequel for what is a very niche game. So,
right.
With 300 people have backed it, and that feels like a win, even if we don't get to make it.
Yeah, that's still not a bad amount of people. So
that's the only reason it hasn't funded is because we made the decision to set a realistic goal that actually pays us properly for making it. If we'd done that thing where we set an artificially low goal, we would have funded. We just probably would be working for free. So
fair. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get it published, sure, but it's also, it doesn't feel good when you're like, well, I'm not getting paid for this.
I've got a mortgage to pay, so
yeah, we gotta kind of make something off of this to do the work.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to do it. I would love to live in a world where I could make cool shit for free, but I do not.
Yeah,
that's what we have this podcast for. Get it free.
Yeah.
That's it. Just get it free.
Just get it free.
Now, you see, if you were able to get a license, like the Murder, She Wrote license, then you'd get all the Murder, She Wrote stands that would come out for it.
That's true.
Murder, She Scried, something like that.
Yeah.
There you could, branding, like we were talking about in the first segment. Branding.
Murder, She Scried.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we've tried to do is get all the Great Gatsby stands, but there aren't many of them around, because all the title, The Unquiet Dark, comes from the Great Gatsby, and all the titles of all the mysteries that we're writing from it come from the Great Gatsby, but people haven't picked up on that.
I got a better name
Apparently
for
they
it.
need to read the Great Gatsby.
Oh, go on.
More.
I really Golden Ghouls. It sells itself.
That sells itself.
Yeah.
They're graveyard caretakers, and by night they're zombie murderers.
Yeah. This is great. This is Golden Girls meets Vampire the Masquerade.
It's
fantastic.
It's the shambling dead.
Yeah.
They're not walking, because the old ladies are actually just shambling.
No, it's the Walker Dead. You just have the zombies with the walkers in front of them, just kind of going, wait a second, just got to move it forward. Just got to move it forward a little bit.
So what's the title of if they're the Walker Dead, what's the title of the Walker Texas Ranger zombie crossover?
Oh, God. What is that going to be?
Shambler Texas Ranger.
Shambler Texas Ranger.
Maybe, yeah.
Shambling Texas Ranger.
Shotgun Texas Ranger.
Shotgun Texas Ranger. I think that's just Texas Ranger. Rambler? Could it be Texas Rambler? Or Walker Texas Shambler. That actually kind of sounds okay.
That works, yeah.
That works. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be great for the memes. It's just all memes all the time.
Anyways. So it's a prequel to Brindlewood Bay?
Yes.
So how far ahead of time do you think it's taking?
Probably 100 years. The time frame of Brindlewood Bay is modern-ish, whenever you want it to be. I think when I ran my campaign, we decided it was set in mid to late 90s, but The Unquiet Dark is explicitly 1922. So we're
Great
on
Depression era.
Great Depression, Prohibition, Jazz Age, all that cool
Does
stuff.
this take place in America?
Yes, it's New England actually. It's
Oh,
a
even
New
better.
England, a coastal New England whaling town.
So
Um,
it's in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
Connecticut. The fun thing about it is Alicia is Canadian and I'm British, so neither of us is American.
Right.
But like, I mean, I don't know much about Canada, if I'm being honest. But like, when I wrote my Brindlewood Bay stuff that went in the actual game, like, I just set it in my head in like British seaside resorts because there's a lot in common with like Blackpool has a lot in common with like a Connecticut seaside town. Like any American or UK seaside fishing town is basically the same.
Yeah, just different accents.
Different accents.
Different
So yeah, and I think we'll get it right. And like I say, Alicia's like the Brindlewood Bay expert, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Although one thing to keep in mind about New England seaport towns is that they are generally very touristy.
Yeah, that's hot. That's
nowadays,
yeah, that is.
Oh, maybe not 100 years ago. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it like in the base game is one of the like common tropes is like how are the tourists in this touristy seaside town interfering with your investigation?
Oh, well, that's easy if it's taking place in Connecticut. All the tourists are fucking
Yeah.
assholes from New York.
There you go. Yeah, this is also accurate. The other thing to note is if you're on like a coastal town or if you're on an island, like if you're on like a Nantucket, because when they get onto islands, like the people there will tell you is that things get a little strange when you're on the islands themselves, just because you are indeed kind of like closed off from the mainland. So by its very nature, things get a little bit more insular.
Yeah, that's again like that's another commonality between like US coastal towns and UK coastal places, because you know we have the Isle of Man. People from the Isle of Man are fucking weird. They turn the streetlights off at night on half the island.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Which half?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like, there's a really
The bad half,
I'm,
Alex.
Yeah, I'm really into folk horror. And there's a very rich vein of like folk horror stories that take place on like an island off the coast of Wales, an island off the coast of Scotland, where people are just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Like the hills have eyes.
Yeah, Hills Have Eyes. Like obviously, like Midnight Mass is American, but you know, Midnight Mass. Did you ever see what was that movie? Did you see Apostle?
No.
No, you should see Apostle. It's really good.
Yeah.
A very violent folk horror film that takes place on an island off the coast of Wales. It's fun.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
I'm
Excellent.
going to try and channel some of that into the Unquiet Dark.
Perfect.
You just,
I mean, I read a lot of Stephen King, so you know, I think I can
Oh,
I can do New England horror.
you got New
It's
England
fine.
down. That's all he writes. I don't know if he writes anything out of New England. I don't actually read Stephen King, so.
Yeah. I think he did one that was set in Florida.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Which is a weird
Florida's
place.
weird.
Yeah. If you only read Stephen King, you'd be like, I am never going to New England. Ever.
Yeah. Never ever.
No,
Stephen
that's
King and
Virginia.
Lovecraft have put me off New England.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there are just killer cars and pets that rise out of cemeteries and insane people.
Yeah,
And-
just
and elder
insane
gods.
old people.
There's
Yeah,
elder
elder gods.
gods, there's vampires, there's,
And
yeah.
it's allegedly very racist people.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, no,
yes.
that was just
Tentacles.
Lovecraft. I'm sorry.
That was mostly Lovecraft, yeah.
A disquieting number of tentacles.
And a disquieting number of
Any more
tentacles.
than one.
Any more than one is too
Yes.
many tentacles.
Yes. And not the fun kind. These are the bad
Oh.
kind. No.
Wow.
This is a whole other fandom.
This is the new segment.
This is the new segment, yeah. Mixing up your fandoms in the next episode of Total Pebble Knockdown. Oh.
We're gonna be trending on Tumblr after that comment.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be great, yeah.
Hey,
Lovecraft
all I'm
anime
saying
is gonna
that
be amazing.
Furries have money, so you know.
They do.
They do.
They do. We should have
Cult
the
furry
Golden Girls
market.
dressing up in furry gear. That would be absolutely amazing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Nathan, if you get a fursuit,
The Golden Furs.
No,
Yes.
if you get any kind of fursuit and we have these videos up on YouTube at some point in time, we'll get the views.
It will just be the
We'll get the
thumbnail, though.
views.
What I'm gonna do is I'll have like a little fox. I'll have a little fox mask that I can put over, and I'll just do that for the thumbnail. And then like 5 seconds, it's like, yep, take it down.
And we're done with that bit.
Major click. Deal with it. So if I am playing the Unquiet Dark.
Yes.
Because I believe that's what we were talking about when we were talking about the Unquiet Dark. What is a typical mission, a quest that I'm going to be going on in my faux, Golden Girls character?
So all the quests or missions, they're called mysteries, and they are generally a murder mystery. Someone has been killed, and you need to figure out who done it. The fun thing about Brindlewood Bay is that even the GM doesn't know who did it at the beginning of the game. You collect clues, and then at the end of each mystery, you get all your clues and you build a narrative out of the clues about who you think did it and why as a group, and then you roll dice to see if you were right or not. So you get this really cool emergent story that happens at the table that nobody has planned for, and you get that really fun, that moment at the end of Knives Out or Murder, She Wrote or Gosford Park, where the detective stands in the middle of the room and lays out all the facts of the case and links them all together. You get to do that moment at the table, and it's really fun. It's a piece of magic. It's my favorite thing in games.
Oh, that's good. So
like pulling a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Someone's actually kickstarting another. Is it a Brindlewood Bay hack? I can't remember, but someone's doing it. Oh no, it's a Wretched hack. Never mind. But Scooby-Doo, it's called those Wretched Kids, and it looks really fun.
It's a hack of your game, The Wretched?
It's a hack of my game, The Wretched, yeah. It's not
Nice.
Brindlewood Bay at all.
That's top tier flattery
It's
right
cool.
there.
It really is.
It's perfect.
It's surreal. I don't like thinking about it.
No.
You've made a game people love so much they've made their own stuff on it.
Yeah,
They're
very
modding it.
Strange. It's like
Yeah. One day there'll be mods of the Unquiet Dark too. People will start making stuff off of that.
a mod of a
so.
mod of a mod.
Yes.
I would very much hope so.
Yeah. I sure would.
Yeah.
Do I get to do the donut hole inside of a donut hole speech though?
If you want to. I don't
Okay.
think anyone could stop you if you wanted to.
Yeah. Good. I'm gonna look forward to that.
We're gonna add a segment for the Unquiet Dark where you can have werewolves.
Where we
The
can
Unquiet
have-
Bark.
Yep.
Yes, or you can add Native American monsters that we won't name because you're not allowed to talk about them.
No. Also, you wouldn't want to.
I'm missing
Skinwalkers
so
for
much
the
context.
reference.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm dying. Thanks.
The Wendigo.
No, you can
wanna
talk
touch-
about the Wendigo. You don't talk about the Skinwalkers.
Oh, okay. But see, I think the Wendigo is scarier. Have
I
you
know
seen?
nothing about either of them.
Well,
I haven't seen Skinwalkers, and I should.
Yeah.
We can talk about that after if you want for
Sure.
a few. They're creepy.
Yeah. Wendigos are scary too. They
Native
have
American folk legends and myths are scary.
Awesome.
They are.
I just finished reading, literally 3 days ago, The Only Good Indians, and
Oh,
it's
really?
one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It's so good.
Really?
But I know nothing about Native American folklore, Native
Oh.
American culture, because I'm English and
goes-
ignorant.
It goes
fair.
deep.
Yeah,
It goes deep,
Uh,
and there's so many tribes too. So you start to look at which tribes had which, folklores, and so then if you look at the hundreds of tribes, and they, then we get into a whole lot of lore that's regarding that. But I think the ones we're talking about did transpose over several different tribes at one point. But
I'll have to read up on that. It sounds very interesting.
Well, since you're talking about like spooky stuff that's happening in the New England area, it would probably come into play at some point.
Yeah.
More so in like the 1800s. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you could include it, especially if you're Lovecraftian themed.
Oh yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Although neither Alicia, obviously, or I are native, so maybe we
Right.
just stay away from that. It's probably not our story to tell.
But a good
see-
hack
see
to
where it
make
is.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I am definitely gonna get in. I want to do some cool shit with like rum runners and bootlegging and stuff, and get
Yes.
into not pirates, but pirates.
Sure. Oh
Who's
yeah.
pirates?
New England pirates.
New England pirates.
Yeah.
Mafia.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Organized crime in games is just super fun.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. More fun than in real life. I don't think it's very fun in real
Yeah,
life.
it's not very fun in real life. Having worked
No.
in bars that were definitely run by UK crime syndicates and families, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
Polite pass on ever doing that ever again in my life.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, good news. You work for yourself now.
I work for myself now. Yeah, that was an excellent segue.
That really was. That really was. We should probably start talking about that too. But before we get onto that, I should say, so when does the Unquiet Dark actually end its Kickstarter, and what were you looking at for stretch goals if you were able to make them?
Yeah, it ends on next Thursday,
Okay.
23rd? Maybe not Thursday, maybe Wednesday. I can't remember. 6
Probably Wednesday.
days from now.
Sure. Okay.
Wednesday is the
Um,
23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either Wednesday or Thursday that it
Mhm.
ends. Let's say Wednesday, because that's
Let's
better
say
than
that.
saying Thursday and having it be Wednesday.
That's true. Just go by
Um,
Wednesday in case.
Yeah. So the base funding is for a series of 4 linked mysteries,
Mhm.
and we're setting them in like spring, summer, autumn, winter, like a year of life in 1922 Brindlewood Bay. And then stretch goals are for us to write more mysteries. So if it's the goal is in Canadian dollars, so the goal is 6,000 Canadian dollars,
Sure.
which is like £3,500, and I don't know what that is in American money, $5,000, something like that. If we hit 8,500 Canadian, we do 4 more mysteries.
Mhm.
And then, so we'll double the amount of content in the book, basically. And then if we hit 8,800 Canadian, we will do like new NPCs and like supernatural entities and rituals and just shit to make your game a bit spookier, basically.
perfect.
And then if we go above that, we just get paid better,
Fair enough. Yeah.
you know?
It's probably for the best. I saw too many Kickstarters where they got so much money that they then decided
Yeah.
to spend another like 2 years just
Yeah.
making the game. Yeah.
That's it. Like, we're gonna turn this out fast. Like, we've written a lot of it already.
Mhm.
We're waiting to see if we fund to finish writing it. So all we need to
Sure.
do once it's finished is like send it to our editor,
Sure.
and then I will do the layout for it, and then we'll print some books.
Perfect.
In American, it's about $4,700 total.
Oh.
So USD, you need about $800.
Nice.
USD and 800. There you go.
There
So
we go.
so-
Easily doable.
Easily
yeah.
doable. Yeah, 10 of your friends.
right. And usually the last week of funding is usually pretty good.
Yeah, Kickstarter sends out an email when there's 48 hours left to go, and like
Mm-hmm.
people come along and go, "Oh, hey, I'll back this."
Yeah.
Hopefully, in theory.
Yeah. It's like, so I always heard it was like the first like 48 hours and the last 48 hours is when
Yeah.
you get most of your funding.
The
Yeah.
middle bit is like,
To let
super
people know
flat.
it's there.
Yeah. Unless there's like, unless you have a really unusually popular campaign, like with the Wretched and with Treasures of the Troll King, I got like the same amount of funding every single day of the campaign,
Oh, sure.
which is really unusual. But usually you have a big spike and then you sit there for 2 weeks going, why is nobody back in the campaign? And
Yeah.
then you have another big spike. And usually about this time in the campaign, people start cancelling it as well. So every time you refresh the page, the amount of money's gone down and you're like, oh no.
Oh, no. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's just the dubious pleasures of running a Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, sure. Sure. Absolutely. Well, hopefully that works out, and then we can all have our wonderful paranormal Golden Girls experience, and we'll be looking forward to that.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. It's the Agatha Christie novel that we never got.
Exactly.
Exactly.
With less racism.
Makes it even better.
Yeah,
a huge amount, 100% less racism.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Can you imagine if Agatha Christie and Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, ever met? Oh man, that would have been a collab that would both be amazing and horrible at the same time.
Just horrifying.
You'd want to know what they came up with, but at the same time, you really wouldn't want to know what they came up with. All right. Well, on that happy note, all right. So, this is the fun part. You get to talk about this.
You get to talk about stuff, whatever you want.
Boss sauce.
Oh my god.
We get to
Actually,
talk
I'm
about boss.
gonna really quick,
Sure.
just because I can.
Always because you can.
I'm just gonna share your Kickstarter post on Facebook.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes. We'll make sure that we have links too, so that I can put them into the episode.
This is just on my personal page, not on
Oh,
No, I
sure.
Total
appreciate
Pebble
that.
Knockdown page.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, we'll make sure that we have the links so that I can put them onto the.
Oh,
What
thanks.
should I use to describe this 1920s
19
based?
These jazz era eldritch horror.
Jazz Age Eldritch Horror.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which to me is like, we both got super excited about that pitch.
Oh
And it
yeah.
hasn't resonated with people in the way that it resonated with us, which is really frustrating. I was like, why wouldn't you want Eldritch Terror in The Great Gatsby?
Yeah. You can call it. I guess that's why they call it the booze. That would be a campaign right there. Great. And the whole campaign is just set around you go to a blues club, but like everybody there is dead. Everybody.
So
in
it's
the-
like From Dusk Till Dawn, but a blues club, not a dirty little
Yeah.
bike club.
Yeah, speakeasy.
I'm into
You could do a speakeasy just to try and be more like in the 20s era.
I might steal
Prohibition.
that idea from you, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Booze and booze.
Yeah.
Booze and booze is totally what the
Booze, B-O-O-Z-E.
Well,
Booze,
it's not a
B-
speakeasy anymore. It's a spookeasy.
It's a spookeasy. There you go. Spookeasy. Mhm. Perfect. So, the last thing we wanted to talk about on the show, Chris, is
Mhm.
I've heard some news that's very exciting. Wanted you to tell a little about it, and that is that you have been able to finally go to doing this as your job. This is your
Yeah.
career
To
now.
us, that's your job now.
Talking
Literally, this is what I do. Nathan and Alex have trapped me in a room.
Yep.
They've put the camera on me full time, and I just have to do this now, all day,
Now-
every day.
Now you have to
Perfect
solve a series
content
of
for
quests. You have to
And now
serve.
you need to loot the room.
You have to loot the room. There is a series of riddles that you must pass before we will let you out. It's
Let's
just
play a game.
it's just an escape room, but the
There is no
escape room into the escape room. It's a donut hole escape room into another donut hole escape room.
It's like that bit in Escape Room 2 where they climb out of the road and they think they're free, and then they're in the middle of the road, and no, it's another escape room. I
Yeah,
don't know where they get the budget for these escape rooms in the escape room movies, but
I
I
don't
didn't know
know,
they made escape room movies.
but they
it's-
really
genuinely, I watched the first one,
yeah.
completely ignored the first one because it looked shit,
Mm.
and then I went to see Monster Hunter at the cinema.
Oh,
Don't ask me why, it was trash. But there was a trailer for Escape Room 2, and I was like, that actually looks super stupid in a really fun way. So I watched the first Escape Room, and it's super stupid in a really fun way.
Yeah, like Sharknado.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Sharknado. Sort of.
That's
it's
fair.
one of those shitty horror movies that knows it's a shitty, stupid concept horror movie and just leans into it.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's worth watching. It's really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
We need to try that kind of methodology for the podcast. Just lean into it.
Just lean into, is it stupid? Okay, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
If we're stupid today, we'll do an episode that's just the stupid episode, and we have 3 just stupid topics to talk about on this show. Perfect. But at any rate, so you were able to get out of your escape room of a job that and move into doing game design and the Loot the Room stuff for full time. So when did that happen, and how happy were you that you were able to do it?
That happened in, I want to say, October or November last year. And it was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
I left that office so quickly and without saying goodbye to anybody. I just fucking walked out.
Oh, you know that's bad.
Yeah, I vaguely remember a thread of tweets.
Yeah. It was awful, but it was a great feeling. And like, it's one of those things where like I've had a few friends who've gone full time, and they're all very concerned about money because, of course, it's scary to not have a salary. But I was super lucky that I was able to save up like a year's worth of expenses before I quit. Okay. So obviously I'm like, I need to make money.
Yeah, sure.
But I could not make money for the entirety of the next year and still have a year of doing it full time. And then I would have to find a new job. But I get to do it for at least a year. And that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I left my job a while back, the HR job, when I left the HR job, because I had an opportunity that was in Tabletop, I was like, oh, good, an excuse. It was just like, it's an excuse to leave. Whatever I can take is an excuse. And so, I had also built up funds, so I was like, well, while I'm here, throw everything at the wall, and we'll try so many different things. I'm just going to make a whole bunch of different things and play around with it.
You've got to enjoy it while you've got the opportunity to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Before your dreams die again.
Yeah, exactly. Before you get crushed by having to go back to the corporate hellhole.
Corporate hellhole.
But so far, it's going well enough that I don't think I will have to. So far,
that's the hope that it keeps going well, so you don't have to, and we can be like, oh, we're so envious.
Yes. I'm really glad I got to do it. It's I knew I was going to be able to do it from about March or April last year, but I just wanted to like make sure I did it properly.
Yeah.
And like, I intended to stay in my job until January just to get those last few months of salary. But it got so bad that I was like, no, fuck this, I can't do it. I can't stay here anymore. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not actually gonna kill myself, but you know, just to be clear, that's hyperbole. But taking the time to like make sure I had a solid foundation, like buying the house and like cutting down on my expenses and saving up some money and stuff was like, it's great. I love it.
Okay. Good. And I imagine that the thing I found too is that when you don't have the whole thing where you're trying to go to the place of work and do the work, you can actually have the time to produce more output.
It's really weird. Like, there was an initial adjustment period where I was still trying to force myself to work like 8-hour days, because that's what you get taught to do your whole life.
Yeah, that's what's expected, 40-hour work week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Exactly. And I realized that I actually wasn't really using that time at all. So now I have like, I work like 3 hours a day of actual creative work. And I'm more productive than I was when I was doing it around my full-time job.
Yeah.
It's great. You see like famous writers post their writing schedules, and everyone's like, "Oh, what a life of leisure!" But actually, it's like you can only concentrate and be productive for about 3 hours a day anyway. So, like,
Right. Yeah.
of course, people only work for 3 hours a day when they have the option to set their own hours.
Yeah,
Right.
Shame that I'm out at my job the 8 hours I need to be there. 9 hours I'm there,
Yeah,
where I'm most productive.
yeah,
Right.
It's like I get home from work and I'm just like, time to relax with video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting home because I was working in healthcare, as I think you probably both know because I tweeted about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just fried. I'd get home and just be like, I couldn't do anything. I would just sit on the sofa like this.
Oh,
and then I'd go to bed.
Yeah.
It was horrible. But now, like, I've got my little routine down now. Like, I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I get to spend as long as I want in the gym instead of rushing it. I come home, I feed the cat,
Mm-hmm.
have some breakfast, and then I sort of like amble into my office and do a bit of writing. Then I have my lunch, and then I amble into my office and do a bit of writing, and then it's like 2 PM, and I'm like, cool, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go read a book.
Yeah. And that's just research.
That's research, yeah. Or you know, some days you will like be super into a project, and I'll be sitting here, and it'll be like 5:30, and my partner will have finished work for the day, and she'll be like, "We should probably eat something now," and I'm like, ADHD hyperfocus, but you know,
Yeah.
I get to choose when I do that now.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Instead of like having that be the only way I can create things, I get to decide that for myself now. So that's
Sure.
fun.
Oh, go ahead, Nathan.
I was just gonna say, like, creative pursuits more than like your standard working schedule kind of have to lend themselves to that, because you do take a lot of like mental there's a lot of mental part to that where you have to you know, a lot of latency. a lot of brain
like
work.
ideas have to gestate, and like the actual typing part isn't the writing part. Sitting staring at a wall for 4 hours looking like you're doing nothing is the writing part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
just- Then you type for a couple of hours and then it's done, or at least that's my process.
Right.
So
Right.
allowing myself time to sit and do nothing is really important.
Yeah. And for people that are like creatively minded or in like, you know, the arts, there is no like one size fits all for the process. So
No.
it's mostly just getting the amount of time together so that you can figure out whatever your process is, that you can do it.
That's the hard part. Yeah, most people's processes for things are like driven by necessity. I think, you know, people write in the half an hour that they're on a bus going to work because it's the only time of the day they get to themselves. Like I've lived that life for most of my adult life.
Right.
So yeah, like the first 2 months of working for myself were very much like, how do I do this?
Yeah. Because I like I remember I was reading something about Michael Crichton's writing process when he was writing books. And I thought to myself, well, I'm glad that this works for you, but it would never work for me. The way he would do things is he'd spend like 4 months or something doing research and stuff on like what he wanted to write. And so he knew, I have this idea for a book, so I'm going to spend months and months and just kind of take it easy, but I'm going to do that. And then there'd be like about a month or so where he would lock himself into a room. He'd eat the same thing every single day. They just give it to it, so he didn't have to think about what he was eating, what he was doing in any other regard. He would sit down at a computer or his typewriter, and he would just write the whole novel out one go in a month. And that's how that was his process. It was just
Can you imagine?
a lot of research. Yeah.
I mean, kudos to him for being able to take 4 months doing nothing but like research and then writing it in a month. Like, okay, output everything all at once. Go ahead, and you're done.
Then he like has it in his head. Yeah, and then it's just like, okay, 4 to 6 weeks or something, and just like knock it all out in one go, send it off to publishing, call it good. I can't. Yeah, I mean, maybe it works. I don't know, but I did sit there and I don't think so. I don't think so.
My background is in fiction writing. Like I always wanted to be a novelist.
Sure.
And I wrote a few novels and they're shit, and that's why nobody's ever seen them. I would really like to get back to writing fiction, and I keep saying next week's the week that I'm going to start writing fiction, and then I don't. I'm still finding reasons to not write fiction.
Mm.
Maybe I just need to lock myself, go away somewhere for a month, be like, bye.
Yeah, sequester yourself in a room.
Yeah, don't do games for a month. Go and stay in an Airbnb with a standing order for Domino's.
Laser focus in, don't have to think about anything else, just what you're working on right there.
Get on first name terms with the guy who delivers pizza.
Until you're done. And then after you're done, it's like, okay, we're good. I'm all set.
Back to games.
Yeah. And it worked for him. I mean, we got Jurassic Park out of it, but the thing about
That's true.
it...
Yeah. I really enjoyed... What was his... My brain's just blanked. There's a few Michael Crichton books that I've really enjoyed, despite them not being very good, and I can't remember what they're called now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Andromeda Strain and
that was an early one.
Timeline.
Yeah, that was one of those later ones, actually. Timeline.
Yeah. The movie of Timeline was terrible, but the book was fun.
Yeah. I think I've seen more movies based on Crichton than anything else. I saw like Congo, and then like
Congo
Lost World.
Crichton?
Congo
Jesus.
was Crichton. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
There's a lot. He wrote a lot of books.
The man was prolific.
Yes. And he basically wrote books that were basically blockbusters waiting to happen, which I think is the reason.
Sphere was Crichton as well, wasn't it?
Sphere, yeah. Sphere was Crichton.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot. His
just hit after hit after hit.
Yeah. Once he started, he just never stopped. Yeah. And of course, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So many dinosaurs.
One of my favorite games when I worked in the office, one of the things that kept me sane was I wasn't allowed to wear headphones, so I had little speakers on my desk to listen to music, and I had to have them very quiet. But what I would do is I would either put on the Jurassic Park theme once, or I would just sing it under my breath, and then I'd just wait and see how long it took for everyone in the office to sing it. Because it's super catchy.
Oh, yeah. Well, John Williams, what are you going to do? I mean,
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
It's great.
Yeah, it sure is.
I'd put that on the speakers at work if I could get away with it.
It's very fun to just sing it very lightly and see who picks up on it.
Yeah. So that's basically the thing you're going to miss the most about working in an office, is that you can only get your own head caught in an earworm.
I can't wage psychological warfare on a group of people who I strongly dislike anymore.
That is the thing I miss.
It just has
too.
to happen on Twitter now.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
this is fair. You just
you're right. I've got direct access to 6,500 people on Twitter.
Exactly.
There you go. You just
psychological warfare. Just start. Are there words to the Jurassic Park theme?
No.
Yeah.
You could make them.
Nah.
Yeah.
You just post that and see who notices it. It's like when people are like, you know that song that goes do. Yeah. It's like you do that.
Yeah.
That works better with EDM, I think, though.
Yeah. Maybe this is why Twitter doesn't allow you to make audio posts.
This might be.
Because I would just post myself going every day.
Twitter may not allow you to do audio posts, but you can embed videos on the Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can just make short videos that are just audio.
I'll make short videos of my cat, because everyone loves cats, and it'll be like my form of rickrolling people.
Yeah. And what you do is you have the cat, and maybe it has like a little dinosaur hat on, and you start you start humming the lyric, and it's like 30 seconds.
I get him a
of
little
just
like
that.
Stegosaurus back thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be great.
It's gonna be.
Keep in mind, this
Breaks
is what
the
you're
internet.
doing because you can work from home.
Because I can work from home. I get to do this now.
Yeah. Just go
This
on.
is your life now.
Just go on Twitter and just start the lyrics of a song everybody knows.
Yeah.
But just like the first part of the lyrics and just nothing else. Just
nothing else.
The first part. You have to do some obscure middle lyric somewhere.
Oh yeah. Just like, oh man, I remember the middle of this song. Anybody know what it is? Everybody's gonna want to tell you.
Quotes out of context.
Quotes out of context. Yeah.
I mean, I did used to just randomly post zero context lyrics from the middle of like noughties emo songs, but I think I'm the only person who remembered most of those songs.
Right.
Oh, no.
Fair enough.
No, they just choose to forget.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's just My Chemical Romance. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'll just post G sharp. A single G sharp note.
Oh yeah. That.
I don't know what that's a reference to right now. I'm
That's-
sorry.
The opening is the one piano note at the beginning of Black Parade.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
That was a fun album.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It's interesting. Just
Yeah,
that one song was good.
I'm a big You Brought Me Bullets and Three Cheers fan, and I didn't like Black Parade when it came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't
like,
a really
fuck
big
off,
My Chem fan myself, but I did like a couple of their songs.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves I'm Not Okay.
That's
There's
because we're
that.
not okay.
Because we're not okay.
We're all somewhat 90s and 2000s kids here, so
Yeah.
Well,
we're
yeah,
all little emos. I
Well-
call it bullied at school music,
Yeah.
personally.
well, it's because somebody played Burnout 3. I think it's like everybody played Burnout 3, so whatever songs were on that, like all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, yep,
We all
these.
played Burnout 3 and saw Spider-Man 2.
and saw
and
Spider-Man's
and
2
Tony Hawk.
and the
Tony
Tony
Hawk,
Hawk,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
therefore,
That's why we all like that one Pennywise song.
yes,
And that one Jimmy Eat World song.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
one
love
Jimmy
Jimmy
World.
World.
Song. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So basically, this is how you can use your time now to remember the things.
This is literally what I do with my time, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing is that you never know. This could be an RPG in the making. You can.
Yeah, I've been we mentioned From Dusk Till Dawn earlier, and I have been thinking about writing like a From Dusk Till Dawn style game
Oh,
about a band on tour who play a show in a venue that's populated by vampires. It's like it'd be like Green Room meets From Dusk Till Dawn, but I would
Right.
absolutely write an album of like noughties emo bangers to go with it.
yeah. There's a movie I keep seeing advertised that's coming out. That's the Foo Fighters. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like 666, and it's
I haven't
What?
seen that.
yeah. Oh, you look it up. But anyway,
That
yeah.
sounds more like something Nine Inch Nails would do than the Foo Fighters.
Well, it's the Foo Fighters. And Dave Grohl and the band. They're like, yeah, we got to get away so that we can make this album. And they end up like going away to what is like basically a demonically possessed hotel, where they are now all in. And I was kind of like, this sounds like the strangest thing. But okay, maybe I'll actually want to watch this because it sounds like a horror comedy and looks like they're having fun doing it. But I was like,
I'll have to watch that.
yeah. I kind of like the idea, though, of having an RPG about a band on tour. That would kind of be interesting.
Yeah.
Then you can have each little vignette as the different places that they play.
Yeah,
That would be
that's
kinda neat.
what I'm thinking. It's one of those things that's been an idea for a long time, but I've never sat down and done it, and now I have the time to sit down and do it. So
There you go.
maybe once I need to get Dice Souls finished.
Yes.
Yeah, Dice Souls. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
can do you can name it Battle of the Bands
Can do it Battle of the Bands, yeah.
Yeah.
or Battle of the Band. And if you
Ooh.
only have one band, that's whatever.
Right. You could do that.
You can do whatever you want. You're getting paid to do this.
I'm my own boss, yeah.
Yeah. You could. Yeah. Six String Samurai. That was a movie.
Pink Samurai.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, since you've been working for yourself now, I feel like you're probably under a lot less mental stress, and your
So much
physical
less.
health is probably improved,
Yeah, both
Which
of
is-
those things are true. Yeah.
which is really awesome for you. I'm really happy
Yeah.
for you.
I get to not leave the house during the ongoing pandemic if that's something that I choose to do, rather than being forced to go into an office full of people. Yeah, it's great. I haven't heard my alarm on my phone for 4 months.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Mhm.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I mean, my partner still sets an alarm because she works a 9 to 5, and like we both go into the gym in the morning at the same time. So like her alarm goes off,
Yeah.
but some days it doesn't wake me up, and some days I just wake up naturally, and it's really nice. It's
Oh,
great.
yeah. For anything that's mental work like you are now doing for yourself, it is definitely an improvement.
Yes. And somehow I've still managed to stick to like. I think the fact that I live with someone else helps, because if I lived on my own, I would have no schedule.
Yeah.
I would like I'd be awake until I physically could not be awake anymore. I would fall asleep wherever I happened to be, and then I would wake up and continue to do the same thing. So the fact that I'm not living on my own,
Yeah.
probably a good thing.
Probably
I
some
feel that.
social interaction. Yeah. Yeah.
Where my schedule is 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't really have a set schedule during the
No.
daytime when
I
I'm
don't miss
awake
working
anymore.
nights.
But it's like, would I like to maybe go back to daytime or evenings if I could and still get paid the same? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
My least favorite thing about doing night work, I used to finish work at like 4 or 5 in the morning when I was doing bartending. My least favorite thing would be people like ringing me at 10 in the morning
Yeah.
and then acting like I was lazy for being in bed. I'd be like, how about I ring you at 3 in the morning
Yeah.
when I'm
What?
awake?
What do you
Yeah.
mean you're having a drink at 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just finished work, so yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
I
thing.
hated
It's
that.
like, they're like, you're drinking at 10 a.m.? I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
having a drink at 10 a.m. I work
Yeah.
until 7 a.m. I am unwinding.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is my 8 p.m.
Yeah. But yeah, no, having people around is going to be very useful. I had a period of time where there was nobody in the house, and it was a winter, and I was all by myself, and I didn't have to go anywhere, and I wasn't really working at the time, and my schedule got very messed up.
Yep.
Because basically, I'm all by my lonesome for about 4 months or so,
Yeah.
and I got to bed at like 8 o'clock in the morning one time,
Mhm.
and just because I was like, I'm just doing stuff, and
Yeah. I'm naturally quite nocturnal anyway.
yeah. I feel
So yeah, like we're meant to go away this weekend, and now I'm not going because our cat isn't very well, so I'm going to stay with the cat. And I know that like when my partner leaves on Saturday morning, I'm not going to get night sleep on Saturday. So I'll just be
right.
like doing things.
yeah.
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 I'll be a mess on Sunday. It'll be awful,
Perfect.
but great.
Great, but also like yeah.
Yeah. It'll remind me of what life could have been like.
Yeah.
How much better it is.
I remember after like 4 or 5 days where I was just kind of like holed up in the middle of winter in New Hampshire, just by my lonesome. I had to go outside and just kind of like stand outside for a little while, just
Remind yourself what it looks like.
right, the outside world. I remember this. This was a
Yeah.
thing.
I know for me, it was the transition to the place I'm living in now, where I had been living basically on my own for the last like 4 years where I was
Mhm.
at, except for having my kid on the weekends. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just me by myself. I just work overnights, the entire schedule gone. Any sense of consistency gone.
Yeah.
And now it's taken a little bit. I've been here since April, but it's been adjusting to the living with another person again. It's
Mhm.
quite nice. It's a lot.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. I mean, I'm also adjusting, probably not still adjusting, to having a dog and 2 cats here too. So that's taken some getting used to. But it's nice. I like it.
I think the hardest thing to adjust to after having lived on your own is like figuring out how to get time to yourself still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will agree with you, especially
Yeah.
since our brand director works from home.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
getting time to myself is a lot less often. So that's the biggest change for me is going from being by myself pretty much all the time
All the
to
time. Yeah.
almost never being alone. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not gonna be like I hate it because I don't. I enjoy not being alone, but it's just like wow, I really don't have as much time
Yeah.
by myself as I used to. Which again, it's fine, but sometimes it's like I would like to find
Yeah.
an hour or two to myself here and there.
Being able to decompress. Like I'm really lucky that like we have our own offices in the house. So like if
Oh.
I need to not have any human contact, I can just like close
Yeah.
the door. And she does the same thing. Like if her door's closed, I'm like, cool, I'll leave you alone because you're working for a company.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
So yeah, having your own space is super important. and it's hard to get. So, like, we moved here from a tiny apartment where literally, like, the only time either of us got to be on our own was when we went for a shit, you know?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being your own boss is much more fun than working for somebody else.
And much more rewarding, I'm sure. And also,
Yes.
and no, if you can focus in, I think that was always the problem, is that I had all these things that I wanted to do, but then your focus gets taken away by the job. And so you don't have the focus or the time to really put any of that into place.
I lack both.
Yeah, I know. The focus and the time go hand in hand.
The projects I have... Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. I think, like, it's something that, for me at least, like, the pandemic really highlighted, because you just sort of get used to not having any time on your own or to do things. And then, like, when we went into lockdown in 2020, I was still going into work, but the workload itself had, like, dropped off a cliff, and there were only 5 people in the office. So I was sitting at a desk in an office, but I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And that was when I wrote, like, the Wretched and stuff like that. And then once things went back to normal, in scare quotes, because of course that's not actually what happened, but once the workplace decided they wanted to be at full capacity again, suddenly all that time went away, and I was a lot more aware of how mentally draining my job was in a way that I hadn't been aware of before. Which was when I started to really resent it.
Yeah. I haven't had that fortune, I'm gonna call it fortune, opportunity, where my job is essentially, because it's retail and at a grocery supermarket, so it's like, you're
so
still going to be full
busy.
staffed, and thankfully on overnights with the pandemic, I don't interact with customers because we're closed. So it's just a small workforce, and I work in the dairy cooler, so I pretty much work maybe with one other person at a time, maybe a couple more occasionally. So it's like I'm very distant and by myself. I just have an earbud in, I'm listening to music or podcasts or YouTube all night. And I get a lot of crazy ideas at night that I would love to do, and then I get home and I'm just drained. And it's like, I just want to unwind. I don't have the energy or the time to set aside where I'm feeling productive to get any of that work done. Plus the ADHD thing that you've mentioned a few times too. For me, it's not as much as the attention deficit problem that some people have, which I know is not the major problem with ADHD, but mine's the inaction, where I have the most impossible time at all trying to start a project on my own.
It's hard.
It's the hardest thing.
That's a few people have said to me, like, since going full time, how do I continue to put stuff out? Because obviously I'm quite open about how bad my ADHD is, and literally it's just having the opportunity to make a routine and have discipline. Like, if I don't stick to my routine, I don't write anything that day. You know, if I come home from the gym and don't go get food and come and sit in here at the same time every day, I'm not going to do any work that day.
Right.
The second someone disrupts it, that's it, done.
We should do a whole episode at some point about creativity and ADHD in gaming.
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
We'll do a thematic roadblocks to creativity. we'll take 3 things that are definitely the roadblocks to that, because scheduling and focus are a big problem, especially when you're on your own. That if you don't have somebody over you, like, hey, what are we doing today? Or if I have to schedule for somebody else, I did find that was very useful. Like when I did actually have a schedule where I had to go and do things, the idea of actually having somebody say, yep, this is our layout, and kind of a little bit of structure to your day. Now, but then when you're on your own, now you have to figure out the structure for yourself. How are we going to do that? So that takes discipline.
Very tough. It is doable though, but it's tough.
Yeah. Fair enough. But you're not going back.
Fuck no.
Again.
No. Fuck no.
Fair enough. So I had another thing that I was going to ask you, but I realized that I have not prepped you at all for it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay.
Hasn't prepped me for it either, so...
No, I had mentioned...
Full tilt, go!
I had mentioned it to I had mentioned it to you, Alex, but I hadn't thought it through very much. But we could try it. We could try it and it'd be fun. Okay. Yeah. So, Total Pebble Knockdown as a concept is, basically the total party kill. It's the moment where you run into a terrible idea and you knock yourself down and you hate yourself for it. I was going to ask you if you had a personal Total Pebble Knockdown moment where something just absolutely blew up in your face. And
I don't know if I do.
I don't remember you talking to me about this ever.
You don't?
No.
I did. That would be your Total Pebble Knockdown moment. You forgot.
No, that's total perception.
Yeah. The problem with that question is that I need to have a functioning memory.
Yeah,
Able
exactly.
to answer it, and I don't have a functioning memory. I'm sure there is an answer to it. Maybe this is it right now.
Probably
This is it.
It was that episode you did with Matt Sanders we talked about.
Oh, that episode,
yeah.
the disaster episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
remember that?
disaster-sode. Yeah.
That you
He
somehow
probably
got
remembers
2
editing
episodes
that.
of Delve out of. You
Yeah.
got 2 episodes of Delve out of that episode, and I don't know how.
There was something there. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was Nathan's TPK.
Yeah,
That might have been.
because your connection went.
Oh, yeah.
Much
Some
like
audio
earlier
didn't
today.
get recorded.
Yeah.
Some audio didn't get recorded. Matt's connection dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was also, if I remember right, it was super hot that day, and my old office was like tiny, and my old computer ran really hot, and I think I had about a gallon of water while we were recording that. I was like
Perfect.
dying, and I didn't have a chair. All I had was my drum stool, so I was getting cramp in like my back, my legs, and like it was a bad situation.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was the Sharknado of Delve episodes, I think. Everything went wrong. But that's good.
And yet somehow 2 episodes.
2 episodes, yeah. Yeah. We make it work. It's all in the editing room.
Yeah, fix it in post.
You fix it in post.
Nathan doesn't fix anything in post anymore. I've listened to the new show.
Yeah. I don't
You'll
bother
fix that in
fixing.
editing, right? Meh.
We might. I'll see. Maybe.
Hear that, and 3 of the things I didn't know were actually recorded in the episode.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah. Well, see, you got to make notes. You got to tell me. You got to tell. Because there's a lot of things where I'm kind of like going, no, I'll leave that in. It's fine. It's fine. Is this going to get a bunch of NFT bros angry? Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll keep it in. I'm good
Well,
with
that's
that.
always worth keeping it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Did we say something that was speculative about crypto? Yeah, it's fine. We'll keep it in. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's good.
We only talked about it vaguely because there was gaming-related stuff to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And now we cannot talk about it ever again.
No, we can't. We are disallowed from ever doing that
Okay.
again. So, yeah. Well. But I'll tell you, one thing that we are not disallowed from talking about ever again is the Unquiet Dark, which is on
Hooray.
Kickstarter right now. And so please go check it out. We will have a link for you in the video and audio description. So make sure to check that out. Additionally, though, Chris, since you
Hello.
work on so many things, if people wanted to find, the rest of your work, where could they go?
They could go to Twitter, the black box that I scream into,
Perfect.
at Pangalactic, Pangalactic. I spell it because Americans often can't understand my accent.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I hope at this point people know what Pangalactic is
I would hope so.
while hearing
You
it.
know.
And if you don't, please go
Read a book.
read a very good book.
It's a space
Able.
panda.
Get out.
Yes.
It's a
Go
space
away.
panda.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can find links to my stuff at loottheroom.io. I'll give you everything.
Excellent.
Fiction, games, adventures, podcasts, music, stuff.
You do a lot of
I
things.
do a lot of things.
A lot of
Why?
things. Why?
Because you're good at them.
Because you have the time now.
I need
Or-
to stop monetizing hobbies.
All right, we'll trade. You can demonetize one of yours and help us monetize ours. All right?
Done.
We're not good at the monetizing part.
It's hard.
It's
very
yeah,
hard.
Yeah, it is. It's a trip.
Yeah.
That's terrific. And Alex, people probably know by now, but who knows?
Who
Apparently
knows?
they
Might
don't.
be coming over here from seeing Chris's name attached to the episode.
That's true. And who knows? Apparently they don't, because but where could they find our stuff on the internet?
You can find all of our stuff over at totalpebbleknockdown.com.
That's right. In addition to the episodes of this show, you can also find Titanium Mine and another project that should be out soon for Creatures, which we're hoping to get up there relatively soon. While you're there, make sure to click on our Patreon banner. By the way, hi, Datum and Seagoat. You're probably seeing this. And Cannibal Halfling and Mom. Hi. You can find us over there with full video episodes of the show that release before even the segments come out, and so that's fun. Or even the audio version, so you can check us out over there. And all of the, what we like to call the premium content, which is all the off-topic crap that we don't
There's a lot.
There's
All
a
the
lot.
shit that ends up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Like that one time where we did an episode and it was like 30 minutes of actual episode and then like 40 minutes of the off-topic block that was in the middle there.
Remember when we did Delve and we spent an hour talking about Fatal?
Yes, that was
Oh my
it.
God.
That was it. That was the don't loot this room part.
That was.
Yeah.
That's the one I think Datum had suggested that someday we should try to play that once for like Patreon.
Yeah.
And we're like, if we get like a lot of patrons who want that maybe.
Yeah.
Make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Show us the money.
Yeah. That was
Because
one
have you
of
seen Jerry Maguire?
Nobody wants to roll for anal circumference here.
No. Well,
No.
mm,
No.
maybe
No.
our Patreon. I don't know. But the point is, I don't know.
That's the new tier on Patreon.
Apparently, that's
Yeah.
the new tier.
Teal.
But yeah. But that
Teal's
was
the new black.
yes.
I
Teal
love
is
teal.
teal's
I need to
great.
dye my hair teal again.
Oh
Good.
yeah.
And I need to get a haircut, which is why I'm wearing a hat.
Perfect. But yeah, no,
yours,
that was
yours looks fine. Mine looks like a mess. Nathan's doesn't exist.
anyway. That one little segment though, where we did talk about that, I had put up as like an unlisted thing because there were people that were like, I really want to listen to that now. So we did have a few people that
Oh, no.
did listen to it by their
And yet,
own admission.
still
They
here.
want to. Yeah, we're
for
still
some
here.
reason.
I'm not cancelled. So
We
it
have
all
not
went well.
been canceled.
No, we canceled the old show because of it.
We
Yeah.
the old show got canceled because we want to rebrand. But you can find us there. Also, in addition to that, you can find us on every single podcast app known to mankind, I'm pretty sure at this point, if you look for us. And they can now, like, review and give star ratings, I think, over on Spotify now, too. On
Yeah,
Spotify.
allegedly, yes.
Yeah, allegedly. If you can, tell us. We'd be interested if that feature is actually working. And you can also find us on Twitter. I am at Titanium.
I'm at EXP Limited, and our show is over at Pebble Knockdown. Forgot what I was saying for a moment.
You almost wanted to say the old one. I know.
You brought it
No,
home though. You got
I
it.
don't know what I wanted to say.
No,
Home
that's
run.
okay. Yeah. This is
Head
call and
first in the home
response.
base.
Yeah, the call and response sometimes get lost in the digitization, but that's okay. Anyway, a big thank you to Chris Bissette for coming on the show, being our very first guest. Thank you for the.
You're very welcome.
And our last
Always a
guest.
pleasure.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
We're now cancelling this show as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us next week for another podcast.
You have been Total Pebble Knockdown. We still don't know. Yeah, we still don't even know what our outros. We don't have
We don't
phrases.
have a catchphrase.
We don't
You
have a
should-
catchphrase.
You should say you've been TPK'd.
You've been TPK'd.
We
Yeah,
might have to say that from now on.
and
There you
you've
go.
been TPK'd. Congratulations. Chris Bissette, you're the first one to be TPK'd on the show.
That
What a
sounds
pleasure it
dirty
was.
when you say it like that.
Which actually seems to work pretty well with the whole talking about fatal thing.
Yeah.
You have been fatally TPK'd.
Oh no.
No.
Call this episode Fatality.
Fatality. Perfect, yeah. Finish
Just has
him. Oh, that
that,
took
yeah.
on a whole different
Oh,
context.
that's
No,
worse.
that's
That's
No, you shouldn't have done that. No. Anyway, thank you for joining us, folks. This might be the last time. Bye.
I'm gonna stop that recording there.